With this historic executive order I will sign today, we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction, which is what it is.
President Trump today, as you heard there, classifying fentanyl as a WMD, weapon of mass destruction. The opioid claiming tens of thousands of lives every year and is responsible for over half of all drug overdoses in the United States over the past year. The president said of the decision, quote, "No bomb does what this is doing." It comes as the Trump administration has been ramping up efforts to combat the flow of drugs into the United States. Full panel here with me now. Jessica Taylor, U.S. Senate and Governor's editor at the Cook Political Report. Denise Gitsham, NewsNation political contributor, and Scott Bolden, NewsNation political contributor as well. Hello to you both. Thanks for being here.
Forgot my name that quick?
What's that?
You forgot my name
No,
that
they had
quick?
lots of titles in there, and I decided to simplify it. Nice to see you. Hello.
I know, it's okay. I would like that.
So the president today classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. 42,233 fentanyl overdose deaths, Denise, in the last 12-month period that we have on record.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the only reason this was ever probably even brought up originally is because in 2002 in Moscow, this actually happened. Like, the Russians actually used aerosolized fentanyl derivative in a hostage issue with the Chechen rebels. So that was when everyone started paying attention to this. I learned this myself today when I was prepping for the session. But, I mean, look at it. It's asymmetric warfare against civilians with something so small. It's like a couple grains of sand is super lethal. So to me, it fits the definition. It's not about what it looks like on the front end so much as what it can actually do. And in effect, it is de facto a weapon of mass destruction.
So yeah, but so it's not a weapon by definition, as cited in the executive order. The executive order has no real legal import either. It covers the agencies and it directs them to put emphasis on this and to use resources against it. I don't know if anybody's going to sue him over it, but the fact of the matter is, if you really want to have a war on drugs, you're not going to put your whole fleet of military off the coast of Venezuela, because there's no fentanyl in Venezuela. You put them off the coast of Mexico, you put them off the coast of China, where the real fentanyl is being made as well as imported, and then you reduce the demand and you arrest and prosecute those drug dealers or those traffickers who are really bringing the harm to citizens in the U.S. This is good for show politically, but the real issue is, can they put the resources behind it? And right now, all the resources are going to immigration, and all the military resources seem to be in the Caribbean off the coast of Venezuela.
You take any issue with that?
No, I mean, look, you're right. It is good politically, and that's what Trump does best, right? And this is an easy win for him. This is an 80-20 issue.
If he implements.
But when Democrats come against him on this issue, it's
Not
a win
against
for
him.
him.
Nobody's against the president on fentanyl. Not at all.
I hope not.
Jessica, obviously, you know, we've seen fentanyl deaths, 70% there were 70% of overdose deaths back in 2023. That number's dropped at 57%. Obviously, as they both said, everybody wants to see that number get down to zero, right? Full stop. Politically, with the president doing this today, it felt like at least he had an event talking about the border and highlighting his successes there. Speaking about that event, it seemed like the president wanted to get back to an issue that no matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican on, you can say he succeeded, and he's trying to frame it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at it in the listen, immigration was Trump's bread and butter. It's how he launched his 2016 campaign. It was the weakest issue for the Biden administration that continues to sort of haunt Democrats, I think. But you have seen a dip in his base in some polling, and so I think this is a way to sort of rally the MAGA faithful. You know, he's been criticized on ICE enforcement and different things, but you're right. I mean, I think with fentanyl, if we can frame it as sort of an immigration issue, this is a way for the White House to do that.
He also said today that it confirmed that they're looking toward potentially reclassifying or rescheduling marijuana. I had Mike Lawler, a Republican, on the show push back against that today, and I think you're going to see an interesting conversation develop there.
Yeah, I mean, you have seen some Republicans want to expand this because you have it in states and different things. So that could be a really interesting kind of contrast there between. I mean, Lawler is one of the most vulnerable Republican incumbent members of Congress as well.
You know, it's funny because I hate pot. I was a dare kid, right? And I always will be. I think it stinks, it's gross. But I don't know why it always has to be, this or that. The reality is marijuana has a lot of potential medical benefit. Now, potential, actualized, and Schedule 1 classification means that there is no medical use for it, which is definitionally wrong. It does have medical use, even if I hate it, just when people smoke it on the side of the street.
Really.
This is where Democrats agree with Denise.
Yeah, but the classification won't matter to the practical pot smoker who's MAGA or who's on the far left or far right. The fact of the matter is weed is legal in at least 44 states, whether it's medicinal or whether it's recreational. I mean, we're based in D.C., and weed is legal here, and it doesn't have to be medicinal. So the fact of the matter is, again, this is kind of political, but it won't make a real difference. Weed is here to stay, and it's legal.
All right. Meantime, as lawmakers in Congress are scrambling to reach a deal on health care before the Obamacare tax credits expire in 17 days, end of the month, end of the year, the president today speaking on the future of health care.
I want all money going to the people and let the people buy their own health care. It'll be unbelievable. They'll do a great job. They'll get much better health care at a much lower cost.
Jessica, the reality is you've got a Democratic demand, I think is probably a better word, right, to say extend the subsidies.
Right.
You've got Republicans saying expand health savings accounts. You've got the president saying all of this stinks, let's do something better. And you and I both know this. The thing that Washington does the best is punt and do short term.
Right.
And is that where this is headed?
I mean, the fact that we're, on December 15th right now, and there's no consensus does not leave me optimistic that they are going to do something, because I don't think there is enough Republican votes there to extend it. When they control both the Senate, you have to get to 60 in the House. I mean, but the members that are saying this is a problem for me, again, are people like Mike Lawyer that you just had on, David Valdeo in California, Jen Kiggins in Virginia, that are at the forefront of trying to find some type of compromise. Those are the seats where the House is going to be won or lost, especially as we see that redistricting ultimately may be more of a wash than we thought at the beginning, when we're talking about possibly just a game of inches in the House. But I think, again, you're coming down to the wire, and it's the holidays. I guess I'm not super optimistic.
This isn't naming a post office, I guess is what I'm saying, right? Like, this is doing
this is really big
health
stuff.
care. This is really big stuff. If you were running for Congress in that really tight district in California.
Which is exactly what I did in 2016 with Trump at the top.
You would support this. You would support the extension of the Affordable Care Act subsidies because you'd have to politically.
I think it's unfair to punish people for bad policy decisions and a lack of courage on Republicans' part, even though everyone on both sides of the aisle recognizes Obamacare for the disaster that it is.
You would support it, though,
No, this is what I would do. I think there's an in-between. I think there's a way to titrate out of Obamacare. I think there's a way to put, say, grandfather all the people that are already on it, and then figure out a way to not let additional people get on, and then give them the option, but work. Here's where Republicans failed. We did not do the hard work of socializing people about the better alternatives to Obamacare. When President Trump says we're just going to give the money to the people, people understand that. But when we talk in nerdy, wonky talk about direct primary care, HSAs, nobody understands that. And so we have to be better about making our case. And the reason we haven't is because we've been too cowardly to take the lead on this issue.
So the deadline, Scott, of the end of this year was because when Democrats had control, this was their deadline. Did you guys swing and miss?
We swang and we swung and got as much as we could. The problem with the Republicans on this is let's all agree. Health care is really difficult. It's not as simple as giving people money and having them put them in a health savings account. We have health savings accounts right now. I have one at my law firm. The fact of the matter is it's more than that, and 24 million Americans, including a lot of Republicans, are relying on Obamacare. It's here to stay. And here's another point. A couple days ago, neither bill passed. The extension on Obamacare didn't pass, and then the health savings plan didn't pass either. So the Republicans who control all three houses still don't have a game plan, but more importantly, they don't have a health care plan, and they haven't for 10 years. So you extend it. You don't hear Republicans saying, hey, just extend Obamacare. What you hear them saying is, most of them say, extend it, and let's negotiate something better, because it is imperfect.
On January 1, for these 24 million Americans, yes or no, prices go up?
I think they're going up.
You think they're going up? All right, we'll leave it there. Scott, Denise, Jessica, thank you so much. Appreciate it.